Hi everyone and welcome to our webinar. So today our topic will be the importance of good mobilisation, and I will be offering a high level snapshot, lightly touching on some of the aspects that we believe makes a successful mobilisation. We are aware that this is quite a vast topic, so if you would like to discuss anything mentioned in further detail, then as always feel free to get in touch. So as I'm sure you're all aware, for the purpose of today's webinar, we will be discussing mobilisation in the context of facilities management. So essentially that period of transition and a time where we are collaborating and communicating as a partnership with a new client. So it's a complex area, but today we'll be looking at our approach, including different phases of mobilisation, building relationships, creating processes, ensuring compliance, and also enabling the operation in running successfully day to day. A personal approach to mobilisation. So we spent some time on this in our last webinar when we were discussing the importance of a personal touch in FM, and we mentioned mobilisation as part of this. So in keeping with this ethos, we can tailor your mobilisation precisely to your needs based on regular interactions throughout the process. A dedicated and experienced mobilisation manager to lead the operation is integral to the success of any mobilisation, and in our case this is Jackie Olive. So she's our mobilisation manager and heads up all mobilisation activities, and this is drawing on her experience operationally, and she will have full accountability for the project delivery. So Jackie is supported by an experienced wider mobilisation and support team who fully understand the practicalities of each contract and the required standards that need to be achieved. So everyone is allocated specific responsibilities for defined tasks, and that's within their specialism and areas of competence. So for example, liaison with our head of people and culture for things like TUPE and staff training. We have a highly experienced and knowledgeable national operations manager, as well as our head of operations, finance, business development. So we can draw on this central pool of staff to enhance the efficiency and quality of the mobilisation. And I suppose what we're really getting at here is the importance of having clearly defined points of contact and ownership. So as a client, you'll be aware of who is leading the mobilisation and who you can contact and direct your queries and concerns to. Our process. So in the next few slides, I'm just going to run through our process, starting with engagement at the top, moving on to training and development, which is followed by planning and preparation, and this focuses on the accountability of tasks surrounding the plan. And then we'll move on to tracking and monitoring, auditing and asset management, and then we'll talk about the mobilisation soft landing. So when the mobilisation can be signed off as complete, and if yes and everything is compliant, we can move to the operational consolidation. And then once we're delivering the core requirements there, we can move on to acceleration and improvement. And this is where we can really focus on adding value to the contract. And then lastly, normal operations. So this is the phase whereby everything should be in a settled state with our customers and key stakeholders all satisfied with the service. Engagement and communication. So developing relationships is really integral to the mobilisation process. Ultimately, this is a partnership, and so communicating with key stakeholders is key. Our clients benefit from a robust and holistic approach to mobilisation, which fosters an ethos of collaborative working to achieve a timely and locally tailored service mobilisation for the end users. We also work with outgoing contractors to ensure a seamless transition there as well. We highlighted our values in our last webinar surrounding a personal touch, one of which being together, and this is something we embed into the mobilisation period, ensuring that we work with existing teams to equip them with the knowledge and training to fulfil the needs of their role. We ensure that we take a caring approach by looking at how we can make the experience for each individual colleague a good experience. Again, we are very much guided by our spirit values during this process, so that's support, positive, integrity, respect, innovation, and together as well, which I mentioned. So there are many legal aspects which are important to get right, but we don't fail to ensure we are connecting with all of our new colleagues straight away to make them feel part of our Derwent family. The TUPE process can be very new and daunting sometimes to the impacted colleagues, and some of which might have worked with their employer for years. So we take a kind of empathetic approach with colleagues and go the extra mile to ensure that our TUPE processes are clear, concise and welcoming for new colleagues. We believe with the right levels of engagement and collaboration, new colleagues can provide the best possible service for end users as well, ensuring that first impressions and interactions on sites are positive and memorable. This leads us on nicely to training and development, which are essential in terms of compliance, but also in quality of our service. Much like welcoming new colleagues, we want to ensure that our staff welcome your building and service users as well. So, owing to the differences in staff experience, training and site requirements, there is kind of local autonomy for managers to shape the induction to ensure that it is tailored to the requirements of the role, the colleague and the environment. And in that sense, a gap analysis is completed of any training requirements and a schedule is created to plan these in. So accountability across the organisation is key for the success of a plan, and each and every task will be provided an owner from the mobilisation manager, directing proceedings all the way down to the last member of staff inducted as part of the go live procedure. One of our main strengths as a business is the close working relationship between our senior management team, including our managing director and our operational team. And this means that when contracts are mobilised, quick and efficient decision making is conducted, and from top down there's commitment, buy-in and total support. The mobilisation plan itself is split between different key functions. So this can include HR, asset management, health and safety, finance, commercials and communication, and this plan will also ensure any contract specific items are captured. So for example, it might be things like dialogue for storage arrangements for items for colleagues, such as bathrooms, breakout areas, etc. with the services manager, defining the frequency and scope of audits, submitting a roles and responsibilities chart, agreeing format for annual reviews, operational meetings, things like uniforms, procedure for the risk assessment review process, clarifying escalation routes outside of core working hours. So there's a lot that can be involved there in terms of kind of specific items to the contract. Tracking and monitoring. So we ensure that mobilisation key milestones are met through formally scheduled progress meetings, ongoing informal communications from our mobilisation manager, and as we've already discussed, they remain your primary contact point and are a visible on-site presence throughout the mobilisation period. Our proposed formal meeting schedule will begin with a mobilisation induction meeting to help us open up a dialogue with your key stakeholders. So this will include an initial review of our draft mobilisation plan compiled based on information available at the point of tender. So we view this to some extent as a living document and expect to adapt to ensure it reflects specific needs as we progress through the mobilisation. And Jackie will retain the master copy, which she will update and recirculate as required. Our normal process is to circulate the updated mobilisation plan weekly, typically at the close of business on a Monday. So circulation will be to the client and our senior leadership team as well. And this will demonstrate progress against schedule by highlighting key milestones that have been achieved, any kind of slippage, actions to address, anything like that, actions required by the client, and resource hours spent on the mobilisation. Auditing and asset management. Auditing is an important part of a good mobilisation plan, and we audit existing procedures including health and safety, local asset registers and statutory planned and reactive maintenance procedures. And this includes reviewing all findings, compiling revised procedures as necessary, and also creating site-specific safety plans, risk assessments, method statements and permits to work, as well as quality plans, environmental plans and security procedures and assignment instructions. Asset information collection and verification is a critical part of mobilisation, and Derwent FM's mobilisation team will verify assets using our proven and comprehensive process. So this involves every room and location throughout the portfolio being mapped and recorded, and this information will then be used to form a property tree of locations against which all assets will be mapped. Every asset in every location will be recorded. Once the asset data is captured, it will be compared and contrasted against data provided within the ITT. Our mobilisation team will request access to the incumbent contractor's records as well of last servicing or checks, and again this will all be recorded alongside each asset line to drive the planned preventative maintenance schedule. We will complete a thorough asset collection and tagging process, compare the asset list provided for the contract pricing to our asset collection, and we'll also review maintenance and service records to enable the creation of accurate PPM schedules. So we'll then populate the CAFAM system with the location property tree and all assets, and also provide CAFAM training for nominated key stakeholders prior to contract commencement to allow our clients full read-only access. Mobilisation soft landing. At Derwent FM, Year 1 will commence with a focus on completing all mobilisation activities. This process is headed up again by our mobilisation manager, who will remain visible and in constant contact. We are transparent in that there will be some activities remaining on our mobilisation planner post day 1, including tasks such as non-mandatory staff training and asset verification, and Jackie will remain leading and accountable for the mobilisation planner until all of these tasks are complete. And at this point there will be a formal meeting with the contract manager to confirm that the mobilisation is complete. And again, Jackie will remain available for any contract queries or assistance required well into Year 1, also supporting the operational team as required. Operational consolidation. So usually as tasks are finalised, normal operations will have commenced with the operational team very much dovetailing into the mobilisation team's activities and ensuring a soft landing approach to the commencement of operations. As we progress through the stage, however, the focus will be on consolidation. So this will take shape in a number of key activities. And that's things like ensuring we are delivering compliant with statutory and contractual obligations on all scheduled and reactive tasks, supporting and monitoring staff members to ensure they're building up knowledge of the buildings and have a full understanding of the services and standards expected. We will commence with trend analysis of common failed units so that we can start stocking appropriate spares to save time and money for future failures, as well as informing clients about the life cycle plan. And also communicating and listening to local stakeholders, identifying their priorities and building up that rapport so that we build a clear picture for our approach to service in all areas. So this will include specific local perks, for example, kind of maintaining AC units in staff floors or suitable times to test fire alarms. By the end of this stage, we will aim to be in a position whereby at a local and ultimately client level, there will be an understanding about how we work, a clarity in our approach, and clients will be satisfied that the contract is being delivered compliantly on a day-to-day basis. At the next stage, once we are comfortable that we are delivering the core requirements, we will make the first steps in accelerating and adding value to the contract. And this will take shape in the gain share opportunities we have identified, which will involve feasibility studies looking at the fire and grounds maintenance in-house, or indeed any other such services whereby we can add value and offer gain share savings. This stage will also involve a deeper dive into staff performance, with the first mid-year personal development reviews taking place. And here we will assess performance to date, but also potential and career objectives. Often this is when we will authorise additional training in fields which benefits staff and the contract. For example, if we've identified a particularly high amount of mechanical or electrical tasks, we will investigate appropriate courses to reduce costs and time of ongoing repairs. The final phase will represent the contract being in a settled state with compliance of all activities in place, our customer being satisfied with the level of service and approach to delivery, and staff feeling settled, motivated and clear on long-term plans for the contract. Going forward, therefore, operations will reflect service delivery over the course of the remainder of the contract, and this will be focused on compliance on a contractual and kind of legal level, and client and kind of user satisfaction will be a theme of kind of continuous improvement with all aspects of operations. So thanks so much for listening. As always, if you would like to discuss anything mentioned in further detail, then please don't hesitate to get in touch via my contact details below. And as always, thanks so much for your time.